What's up, family? Man, I want to continue on. Man, today we're going to talk about obsession. Obsession. And we're going to continue on talking about Moby Dick, one of the most powerful psychological books ever written. I'm going to say it again. One of the most powerful psychological books ever written. Man, this book was written back in the 1800s. You know what I mean? And man, it's still true today. You know what I mean? When you really look at this book, you really psychoanalyze this book, and you don't even have to dive deep into it. Just look at the story. Just look at the plot. And man, you'll see yourself in the story. And it's a trip because so many of us, man, we're so obsessed. We're obsessed with somebody that hurt us. We're obsessed with something that's happened to us in our past, and we've never allowed it to leave. We've never let it go. In the movie Moby Dick, Captain Ahab, years ago, he was out hunting whales as they did back then. And somehow he ran across Moby Dick and it messed up his leg. Had his leg amputated, right? And now he has this trunk, this ivory trunk, which is, I don't think ivory comes from whales, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? But he had this trunk of a leg. And he got that from being injured by Moby Dick. Stay with me, I'm going somewhere. And ever since then, this captain was obsessed with capturing Moby Dick. Ever since then, he was obsessed with killing Moby Dick. It didn't matter how many people lost their lives in his pursuit of capturing Moby Dick. None of that mattered to him. He didn't care about the consequences. All he cared about was this motherfucker hurt me and this motherfucker gotta go. He has to die. There's no ifs, ands, but I don't care how long it take me to capture this motherfucker. He has to go. And the truth is, that's so many of us. Somebody's hurt us in our past, and we're so stuck on revenge. We're so stuck on being a victim. You have all these great people that come into your life that want to love you, want to show you how a woman's supposed to be treated, want to show you how a king is supposed to be treated, and and you don't give a damn because you're still fixated on this motherfucker that hurt you. This motherfucker that broke your heart. You got all these people trying to love you, all these people trying to give you the world, all these people trying to show you a better way, and you can't hear none of that shit. Because you're still pissed at this motherfucker that got away. Who the fuck do they think they are? And you're gonna get them. If it costs you everything, you're gonna get them. And it's a trip because there's a scene in the book where another captain comes up and he boards Captain Ahab's ship, right? And so they're talking. And this other captain, man, he's missing his arm. He has a hook for his arm. And he's telling him about his encounter with Moby Dick. And he's so captivated by what he saw and his experience. Stay with me. You had these two captains. Captain Ahab lost his leg. This other captain, he lost his arm. This other captain, he's walking around so proud, so full of life, so grateful. Why? Because he encountered Moby Dick and he lived to tell about it. See, because he understands, man, so many people died. There's so many fishermen that had died out in sea. This well gave him a total different perspective about life. This well gave him a brand new lease on life. It cost him his arm, but his arm is a constant reminder to him, man, I'm so grateful. Man, I miss my arm, but man, I have my life. Man, I have a whole new perspective of life. I learned to appreciate things a whole lot more. Same encounter, but Captain Ahab, man, his philosophy is different. His perspective is totally different. His perspective is anger, rage, obsession, revenge. Who the fuck does this whale think he's fucking with? How dare this whale do this to me? So many of us, we've gone through similar things. So many of us have had our hearts broken. So many of us have been abandoned and rejected by our own family. So many of us have been beat down, molested, raped, and all that other bullshit. But this book, Moby Dick. And it's true because in this book, the other captain, he didn't even have that big of a role in the movie or in the book. He has a tiny little piece of the book. The book isn't even about him. It's just a little tiny excerpt of him, of his story. That's so crucial. Why? Because all the stuff that we have to be grateful for, we find something to be negative about. All the stuff that we have to be, just humbled and appreciative about and happy about, we find something to be pissed about, to be a victim about, to be hurt by. And this captain came in and he tried to insert a little positivity into the story. This captain came in. He tried to drop a little clue to Captain Ahab. He tried to drop some jewels to Captain Ahab. Try to save his life and the whole ship's life. Because if I'm right, there's like 28 people on that ship that died. All in pursuit of capturing Moby Dick. And everybody's lives could have been spared if they listened to this one little captain. If they paid attention to this one little captain. Obsession. Obsession. And it's true because there's a part in the story where Captain Ahab, he takes out this gold Spain coin, right? And he has all the guys come out on the ship. And he's standing there talking to them. And telling them, man, whoever sees the great white whale, whoever sees the whale that they're looking for, whoever spots this whale gets this coin. And he takes the coin and he hammers it to the plank, right? And he passes around a thing of wine. And everybody's shouting and cheering because they want the coin. They want the gold. Everybody's up. Everybody's emotions are triggered. Everybody's emotions is on fleek. Everybody's riled up. As they're passing around this wine. And everybody's drinking and pledging an allegiance to the captain. We're going to help you. We're going to capture that Moby Dick. We're going to capture that great white whale. And they're passing the drink around. And they're pledging their allegiance to this insane captain. To this obsessed captain. To the point, they're out there. And they come upon all these whales. And to capture a nice-sized whale was big money back then. They got into a school of whales. They had a lot of them that they were hooked to and they were killing and bringing in. It could have set them up financially for the rest of their lives. But somehow, they hear about this great white whale. They hear about somebody spotting his whale. All the guys are on the scene. They're hooked to these whales. They've already brought some on. And the captain gives the command, let them go. I've been told about my whale, and it's the opposite direction. And the guys are up in the room. What are he talking about? Man, look at all this money. What is he talking about? Look at all these whales. Look how much money we're in. And they're so happy because look at all the whales that they came on. Look at how much money each of them are going to get. But they made a pledge with a lunatic captain. With a captain with a victim mentality. So they let all the whales go. And they all came back on his boats. And they went to go pursue Moby Dick. They found him. They got hooked up to him. And he destroyed the boat and killed everybody on the boat except for one person. Ishmael. Everybody else died. Why is that so important? How many people are you going to take down with your obsession? How many people are you going to destroy with your hatred? And see, some of you, you've been married to somebody. Some of you, that's your baby daddy, that's your baby mama. And you're doing everything in your power to destroy their relationship with that other parent. Because you're obsessed. Because you're angry. Because you're pissed off that that motherfucker don't want you no more. You're pissed off he cheated on you or she cheated on you. And so you're constantly telling your kids that that person ain't shit. I don't even know how you like your daddy. Your daddy ain't shit. He don't buy shit for you. He don't never come pick you up. He don't never visit you. He said he gonna come pick you up this Saturday and he don't show up. And man, I've seen that. I experienced that as a kid. Watching my little sister and brother go stand outside, dressed, waiting for their dad to come pick them up. Sitting out there for hours on the porch, waiting for him to show up. And he never showed up. And so I saw the brokenness in their eyes. I heard the brokenness in their voice. How many people are you going to destroy while trying to tear down that other person? Obsession. Some of you, you can't have somebody that you really want. And so you're going to say everything you can about them. You're going to try to dog them out in every way you can. The truth is, you're obsessed with them. You want them, but they don't want you. They've never wanted you. And that's fucked you up. That's crushed your ego. And now, you have this victim mentality. You have this Captain Ahab mentality. At all costs, I'm going to destroy you. I don't care what I lose. I don't care who comes in my life and is a part of my life. I'm going to destroy you. It is what it is. It's obsession. I've lived it. I've had a young woman who I didn't want to be with anymore tell my wife. I wasn't married at the time. I broke up with this young lady, started dating somebody else. When she found out that I got married, she came up and told this young lady, right in front of me and the kids, If I can't have them, nobody's going to have them. That's what she said. And she did everything in her power to get me fucked up. She did everything in her power to get me locked up. She didn't have a problem with how I was living as long as I was with her. Or as long as I wasn't with anybody. Because if I wasn't with anybody, then she still had a chance in her mind. But as soon as she saw that I moved on, that obsession kicked in. I was facing 35 years federal prison time because of shit that she went told. She was part of it, didn't have no concern about that. Didn't care about that. She played the victim role. It is what it is. Obsessed. What are you obsessed with? Some of you, man, you're obsessed with chasing the bag. You'll do anything for money. You'll sell out your mama, your daddy, your cousins, your kids, your aunties, your uncles, your grandma. You'll sell out anybody for some money. What are you obsessed with? Some of you, you're obsessed with the fanfare. You're obsessed with having a lot of subscribers, of getting attention. And so you put out all these videos, TikTok videos and Instagram videos, and you go live with you and all this other stuff, having hardly any clothes on, showing all this cleavage and ass and titties and pussy and all this other stupid ass shit. Why? Because you want the attention. You're obsessed with getting attention. What happened to you in the past that hurt you so much? What happened to you in the past that put you on this trajectory to where now you're obsessed with getting what you ain't got? You'll do anything for it. There's so many people obsessed with money. They'll kill their partner. So many young men, so many young women have come back from war in this country, have come back from Afghanistan, have come back from Iraq, fighting in a war. Come home, only to have their loved one, their wife, their husband, kill them or set them up to be killed. Because they were more valuable dead than alive. Obsession. There's so many people that have been great football players, basketball players, athletes, making millions of dollars. But for whatever reason, those millions of dollars that they were making wasn't enough. So many rappers today, man, they're making millions of dollars, but that's not enough. They got to go flip some bricks. They got to go move some kilos. Because they're obsessed with the street life. They're obsessed with the money. They're obsessed with power. And they can't even understand. They can't even see how it's destroying everything that they built. What are you obsessed with? What are you obsessed with? Man, my hope and prayer is that something's been said to encourage you, to inspire you, to lift you up. We have to grow up. We have to take the time to look and understand why we are the way we are. Why do we respond the way we do? Why do we react the way we do? Why are we so angry? Why are we so hateful? We could see people on the road, people on the street, and we're so callous, so hardened. We don't even give a damn about them being hurt. We won't do anything to help them. We won't even say a prayer for them. What's happened to us? What's happened to you? What happened to you? What made you so mad? What makes you so angry? What makes you so bitter? What makes you so fucking toxic? Man, I hope you find out why you are the way you are. And don't just say because of Jerry, or because of Sammy, or because of Sherry, or Mary Beth. Nah, it's deeper than that. It's always deeper than that. And the truth is, you've always had a choice. You could have been like this other captain who became positive and grateful that they survived the circumstances and the situation. Or you could have went down the other road of a victim mentality. The choice is always yours. I love you guys. Happy healing.